What's good? Freedom family, freedom marchers, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. What's good? It's your boy Snap the Gorilla, aka the definition, aka the definition of anarchy. All that good shit. Everything but my government name. It is Monday, February 20th, 2022, or 23. Sorry, February 2023. Tomorrow is today is basically the spring equinox, and it's the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year's to all, and you can tell that the year is new. You can see it. You can see all the trees are getting green, you know, all that good shit. Hey, we're in the new year. We're in the new year, y'all. How y'all doing? Um, I wanted to get on here, man, and talk about this because no one's talking about it, and I can't find the shit. I can't find any information or news about it anywhere on the internet right now. And I think that's very interesting because I saw it myself a couple days ago on YouTube, where a one of the members of Parliament in the UK were talking about how they need to engage. We need to engage in direct warfare with Russia, and sometimes, man, you gotta screen grab shit. You gotta do like like what's they call that? A screen capture, where you want to capture it. And I didn't do that. I didn't think it was necessary because hey, this should be big news, right? If you have a member of the UK Parliament talking about how we need to go to war or how they need to go to war with Russia, saying the quiet part out loud, you would think that that would be huge news, but it's not huge news. It's not huge news. And when I go to look for it, I can't find it. But then again, I didn't look too deep or too far for it because I had to get ready and hit the road. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man. You have to really be on your P's and Q's if you're really about getting information. But yeah, the listen, we don't even need to hear them say it, do we? We don't need to hear them say it. We know that these people want another huge war. We know they want it, and in their, especially in the United States, because uh, here's the thing, and here's what I believe they're thinking. Uh, they're thinking that it's going to stay over in Europe, right? They think that they're going to be untouchable. They're going to be okay. You know, uh, they're going to just sit back. This is what I'm thinking about what the United States is going to do. All right, what our so-called leaders are going to do. They're going to sit back, and if the UK and Germany and all these other countries get into a ground war in any form of fashion, any form of direct war with Russia, they're just going to sit back and let it happen. They're not going to necessarily, and we're not going to send troops right away over to Europe. Even though we have troops in Poland and other countries, we have troops in Germany, we have troops in the UK, we have troops all over Europe. We got troops in Italy. But they're going to sit back. They're going to wait. They're going to say, you know what? We aren't going to engage right now. But what they're going to allow to happen is for all kinds of devastation to occur over in Europe so that the people here in the United States can say, man, we really got to do something. I mean, what's happening to the people? They're getting fucked up, right? And that's when, essentially, and of course, we're a member of NATO. So there's only so long that we can hang back anyway. We're going to have to you know, we're going to have to do our NATO thing. We're going to have to honor our NATO agreement, and we're going to have to actually start to get our own people involved in a war with Russia. And this is something that cannot make these people happier, right? And they're not going to send their children to over to Europe. They're not going to do that. They're not going to send their children. They're not going to send their friends' children. None of that, or their grandchildren. They are going to send your children. They're going to send your children over there. And could this escalate to a nuclear war? Well, it possibly could. I'm not too sure about that, but I tell you, uh, it could lead there, and it's just about who's gonna launch the first missile, who's gonna launch the first nuclear missile, man. Uh, because really that doesn't even matter, because if one country launches a missile, the other one has to respond, right? Mutually assured destruction. As soon as as soon as we detect that they launched their nuclear missile, we got to launch one of ours, and we got to do it that much more devastatingly, right? If they send one, we have to send three. If they send two, we have to send four. It's going to be a hot ass mess. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, and this is what they want, right? Listen, I think that these people want to go scorched earth. That's what I think. These people want to go scorched earth. Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to do that? Well, these people think about the long game. All right, they think about the long game because listen, you have how many countries with nuclear weapons totaling in the tens of thousands of nuclear warheads, right? In the tens of thousands. Russia has the most. The United States has the second most, and then I think there's China and then North Korea. And among them, thousands of nuclear warheads. And they made those things for a reason. We continue to make them for a reason. These people think they have the ultimate plan. They think they all they got to do. Well, we'll just go in our underground bunker. We'll chill out for like 10 or 20 years, and then we'll come up, and then we can rule the world like we want to, right? Because they're going to wipe out most of the population. Most of the population is going to get wiped out in nuclear fallout, right? And this is how these listen. I know it sounds like a fucking Bond villain scheme, right? It sounds like a Bond villain scheme. It sounds like something outrageous. It sounds like something Dr. No would come up with. But I tell you, it's I wouldn't put it past these people. I wouldn't put it past them because they are that nefarious. They are that villainous. Oh, Wax Dog in the building. What's good, man? Glad you found the channel again. Wax Dog in the building. Y'all shout out to Wax Dog. Um, rest in peace to Shakes King. You know, and it's been interesting. I've been looking at these channels on YouTube in regards to Shakes King, and there's a lot of hearsay out there that I won't even touch on. But shout out to Wax Dog and R.I.P. to Shakes King. Taken too soon, man. Anyway, so yeah, y'all just be careful. The streets is hard. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, but these people, they're that fucking villainous, man. If you think they're a cartoon villain, right? If you think, oh, that's too cartoon villainy, right? Oh, that's too. Listen, these people don't give a hot fuck, man. They don't give a shit. That's why they're buying fucking. They're going to New Zealand to buy fucking land to build bunkers in. All right? They'll think, oh, well, we could just travel to New Zealand. We could travel to this place. We can go here, go there. We can go to the most remote part of the world and get away from this. They don't care. Okay? They're building space stations. Like they think they can just launch out into the fucking launch into orbit and circle the planet until it becomes habitable again, right? Until it becomes less harsh. These people are crazy, right? This is what they think. And they have all the scientists, they have all the doctors in the world that can give them this ray of hope. Listen, they're going to, by any means necessary, they're going to achieve their ends. And so we have to start thinking about what ends we'll go to. What ends will we go to ensure that we do not get caught up in the bullshit, that we do not allow this to happen? Listen, they buffered you out, Marcy T. Yeah, they'll do that. Um, you know, all I can say, man, is get your potassium iodine ready. And listen, I'm not a fear monger. I don't know that they're going to actually go to war with Russia. This is just one, as far as I know, one member saying this, but I can guarantee you there are elites out there that want this to happen. Now, they're probably hoping it doesn't have to go to nuclear war, but if they can kill off millions and millions of people in a ground war, well, they'll take that. They'll take that because they don't want to have to go underground. They want to be able to enjoy the earth. They want to be able to enjoy all its resources and all its splendor and all its beauty without us useless eaters using up all the resources. But if it comes to nuclear war, then they'll accept that. They'll accept that. They think that they have the ultimate plan. They did that. They think they have the ultimate escape. And so, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And you know, listen, your heroes aren't going to save you. The cops aren't going to save you. They are not here to save you. They're not here to protect you. Donald Trump is not. Listen, even if he was real, right? Even if he was about that life, he doesn't have the true power to do what needs to be done. Not on his own. Not on his own. Like you can't rely on that. Like a lot of uh, these uh, these uh, these right wing people do, right? They love. Much love to you too, Marcy T. Love you too. I love all y'all, man. You know what I'm saying, man. Uh, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the solutions I have are pretty simple, right? But if it comes to nuclear war, I don't have. Who has a bunker? Who has the finances? Who has the resources to build a, like, I'm talking about us regular people. I'm not talking about the wealthy elite. I'm talking about us regular folk. How many of us have the money and to gather the resources to hide out in a bunker for decades? You know, to where our children will have to have their children in the bunker. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're essentially creating an ark, like Noah's Ark, but underground, you have to have enough supplies, enough people, and all these other things to sustain life, right? To sustain life for decades of years, for decades. So it's just it's something to think about. It's something to think about. It's something to think about. And we just got to make sure that people are aware. That's all we can do. You know, all we can do is make sure people are aware and hold people accountable. You know how we can stop this shit. How we can stop this is by taking it to them. Marcy said she saw the UK PM saying it as well. Yep, that's right. I mean, I'm not. Oh shit. Yeah, I got a little cough, y'all. Fucking fucking head cold too. Been fighting a little head cold for the last couple of days. If I at the goddamn in the winter, I the whole goddamn season, I avoided any goddamn mucus. I didn't have any mucus. I nothing like that. And then shit, man. But a lot of people that I know, especially people I work with, had it a lot worse than I did. Like I had a little head cold and I got a little cough. You know, there's a guy at work. He had to go to goddamn urgent care to get steroids because to avoid getting goddamn pneumonia. So you know, I've been able to minimize the amount of sickness that I had. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So um, listen, the best thing to do if we want, we can stop this, right? We can stop this. We can take away their funding. We can take away their power. We can take away their control. Consenting to be governed. You, the people, we the people have to consent to be governed. That is one of the key phrases in the Constitution. Consent of the governed. We have to choose this, right? We have to get up every morning. We have to go throughout life every day. We have to do these things. We have to choose to pay taxes, right? Really, you're being extorted, right? Because you can't get a paycheck without them taking that shit out, unless you're a contractor. Then, you know, maybe at the end of the year you can avoid getting hit with an audit, but you can then, whoever you had that contract with, they're going to report your goddamn earnings to the IRS. So at the end of the day, yeah, it seems like we don't have a choice, right? It seems like we don't have a choice. Get my tea in. Seems like we don't have a choice. But the only reason we don't have this choice is because the majority of people choose to be held under this control. Why? Because people just they don't want to be responsible for their own lives. They want to appear to be responsible, but they don't want to have the ultimate control over their own lives because you know why? Most people don't want to be held accountable. Most people, they don't want to have to get up in the morning and think, well, shit, how do we maintain this bridge? How do we maintain this road? How do we do this? How do we do that? How do we maintain this hospital? How do we gather the resources? It's fucking hard work, right? It's hard work. Think about it. Before industrialization, before government, right? Let's go back thousands and thousands of years. Let's go back tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years ago, we didn't have government, right? We didn't have government. We didn't have a central body telling us what the fuck to do. Back 10,000 years ago, we didn't have those things. All we had was our tribe, we had our village, and we had to face dangers every day that you couldn't even imagine. Dangers from extreme weather, predatory animals. You know what I'm saying? Uh, lack of prey to hunt and all that other shit. You might have a bad fucking month of where you can't gather any fucking berries and all that other shit. I mean, you had wild, you had uh, brown bears, black bears, mountain lions, uh, all kind of shit. Lack of shelter, right? Lack of buildings. But guess what? They weren't thinking about, oh man. Life would be so much better if we had a central government to make sure that we didn't have to worry about this shit, right? Yes, it seems like it was a harsh environment. It was a harsh world. It was a harsh world, but you were responsible for your own safety. You were responsible for your own life, and therefore you had the freedom to live life as you saw fit in a dangerous world. And people, when they think about that, they're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want these police officers to run around keeping me safe so that I can let my guard down, right? I can let my guard down. I can not own a firearm. I can just go to work, work my 9 to 5, come home, and not have to worry about shit, right? But what do you have? What do you have to do to maintain this level of security, right? There's greed. There's a, when you allow people to have power over you, it just doesn't stop there, right? They're not satisfied with that, right? They are not satisfied with that. They have to go around conquering this, conquering that place. There's never enough resources for everybody. Once you decide that you are going to govern over so many people, they need things, and you have not allowed them, right, the freedom to go out and get the shit the damn selves. You have not allowed them the freedom of living their daily life on their own and making their own decisions, right? I'm talking about to the 100th degree, to the 100% total autonomy over your own life. What does this do? Yes, we have advancement in medicine, which could have happened without government, right? Because people are always innovative. People are always listen. We were, if you believe in the evolution, right? This is not an evolution versus religion argument. What I'm going to say is, if you believe in evolution, and even in religion is evolution, because let's say human life began 6,000 years ago. They had, what did they have? They didn't have shit. They had their hands and some crude tools. But before they had crude tools, all they had were their hands and simple thoughts. They evolved to be able to create better tools, and better tools from there, better tools from there. And it didn't start with government. Government didn't come before human ingenuity. But anyway, if you have control, what it happens in every fucking society, in every culture, right? You form this government out of osmosis, right? Sometimes it just happens, right? Because there has to be a leader. And then you give this leader so much power that he gets drunk on it and thinks that, oh, now I need to be a dictator. What happens from there is, well, I have built this life for my people. This is what they think. This is what these people in their mind really think. These tyrants, that you're their people and you belong to them. You're their property, right? It's not just a sense of responsibility for these people. It's the sense of ownership. It's a sense of ownership that you have when you reach that tyrannical mind state. You think you own these people. You think that you're their daddy. And so it's never enough. You think, well, I need to go out and I need to find more resources. I need to get more land because my people are expanding. I have created such a, a easy and comfortable life for them that they're now having more children, they're living longer, and they're sucking up more resources, right? And so guess what? I have to expand my empire. I have to expand my empire for my people. You know, I want to keep the women comfortable. I want them to be able to have their babies and not be in any danger. So, listen, all these things may seem admirable, but at some point, it becomes dangerous. At some point, that drunkenness of that power, you get behind the wheel, and then you fucking crash. And that's how wars start. Wars start over resources. That's really what it's all about at the end of the day. This dictator wants to go over to your land or come over to my land and take resources from you. First, they'll try to strong arm me, right? You know, I got 20,000 soldiers. I can come in here tomorrow and I can just take what you got by force. Or you can peacefully hand over control and you'll still be the leader of your people, but you'll answer to me and you'll have to give me certain resources. And yeah, we'll trade a little bit. We'll have a little bit of trade. I'll make sure you get things out of it too. But I'm going to get the lion's share of the trade. This is how this shit starts, people. Government equals war. Governments cannot exist without war. Governments cannot exist without conflict, right? And so people don't. And this is why it's inevitable. It's inevitable for us to become a warring country every single fucking decade, right? That's why Trump had to go, right? If you believe in it, let's say I believe in the left right, no, let's say I don't believe in the left right paradigm lie, and I believe that Trump is our savior. Trump had to go. Y'all don't understand? Just sending somebody in there that's on your program to become president does not do enough. It does not do enough. Trying to play by their rules is not going to work. So Trump went in there trying to play by their rules, but at the same time rock the boat. And he did a hell of a job, right? He turned the economy around, uh, pulling troops out of war, ending this conflict. Yeah, he did that shit. Or that shit happened while he was there. But the way that our economy is set up, the way that we maintain power is to have this presence, right? That's what keeps the United States as powerful as they are. Presence, presence, and intimidation. It's our presence in these countries that keep us where we are today economically, geopolitically. This is what keeps us where we're at, right? It's just reality. How many bases we've been in Germany since World War II. We've been in South Korea since the Korean War, right? We're everywhere. We're in Italy. We're in the UK. We're all over the place. And we have, guess what? We have weapons. We're not just there. We have we have weapons everywhere. We have huge weapons of mass destruction in all these places. And our our sea fleet, right? The Navy, we have the most powerful Navy in the world, right? Some might argue that Russia has a more powerful Navy, but no. Trust me. The US has the most powerful Navy in the world. Japan has a powerful Navy, and we're in league with them. You understand what I'm saying? And we're in Japan. We went to war with Japan. We destroyed Okinawa and we destroyed Hiroshima. We leveled it with nuclear bombs. I got to tell you, we were the United States Empire is very intelligent. The United States Empire is very intelligent. When they destroyed these countries in war, they said, we're not just going to pull out. We're going to help you rebuild, and we're going to fucking stay here. We're going to rebuild and stay here, and we're going to keep an eye on everything. That's what keeps us in power. And guess what? If there's not a threat of war or war coming from the enemies of these countries that we're installed in, right? Like with Germany, threat of war with Russia all the time, right? West Berlin, East Berlin, Italy, the same thing, right? All these other countries, there's always that threat. There's always that sniff. There's always that. There's always that sense of war in these different countries, right? And the United States ensures that this continues. We are the masters of espionage. We are spy masters, right? We beat Russia. Russia, Russia has gone as far as to create whole compounds where they raise children to be Americans. Y'all know that. They raise children to be Americans to infiltrate America. And they implanted hundreds and thousands of Russian spies into the United States. And we still beat them, right? We still beat them in the Cold War. Why? Because we beat them at their game. We knew what they were doing. We allowed it to happen. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Don't think that our illustrious government wouldn't allow something devastating to happen on our land to get what they want. They've done it before. 911. Okay, I'm gonna just say 911. Y'all remember what happened there, right? And we know that was an inside job. If you have any common sense whatsoever, they will go to any lengths to make sure that we stay in war or in the threat of war. And if we're in the threat of war for too long, people stop giving a fuck. The only power the United States has is a threat of devastation in a war. Because these countries know that we can devastate them. We can destroy them. It doesn't matter how many nuclear warheads Russia has, right? It doesn't matter. We have nuclear defense systems. I think Black Spring Autumn was good. We have nuclear defense systems, really, that can just wipe any. Like, listen, they know this, right? We have nuclear defense systems that could deter mostly any. We know that, but don't think that the United States would allow one nuclear missile to reach into our airspace and level a fucking city. Don't think they won't let that happen. And guess what? If that does happen, we won't have a choice. Hell, we might allow them to level a small fucking city in the United States, right? We might allow that to happen and still not launch a nuclear missile response because we're gonna say, oh, we don't want to we don't want to destroy the world with a nuclear war. So they'll do some other shit, right? Don't think, but I don't think it would be in the United States. I think they would do it in Europe, right? I think Russia, if it does happen, they would probably set off a nuclear warhead somewhere in Europe, or make it appear as though Russia set off a nuclear warhead somewhere in Europe, and then we won't have a choice but to enter into a war, or you know, nuclear, not even a nuclear strike, missile strikes in some country in Europe. We want a NATO country. We won't have a choice. But this is what they want. This is what they want. Why do you think China went out that way? He went to meet with Zelensky, President Z, right? to like try to broker a peace. And now I think he's in Russia kicking it with Putin. But China knows what's up. China knows what's up. China is trying to stop this shit. China is trying to say, look, man, we trust me, we don't want it to go. We don't want it to go where it could go, right? Because Putin had to know that going into Ukraine, invading Ukraine, wasn't just going to be like that people wasn't going to let that slide, right? I mean, he annexed Crimea, right? He annexed Crimea, but Crimea, the people in Crimea, they really wanted to be a part of Russia anyway, right? If you ask a Crimean, they're going to tell you they're Russian. So it was probably a lot easier and a lot less resistive for them to. They encountered less resistance trying to invade Crimea and annex Crimea. They were able to do it because again, the people of Crimea, for the most part, think they're Russian. Okay, so if the people are on the side of the invader, it's going to be a lot easier for them to conquer that area. So, but this is different. You're talking about marching on what's the capital of Ukraine? The capital of Ukraine. You're talking about them trying to take the entire country. Okay, Putin had to know that it wouldn't just be a cakewalk. He had to know that. He had to know it wouldn't be a cakewalk. But here again, maybe he thought that the United States wouldn't put their nose in it. Maybe he thought it would just be, you know, maybe he thought, well, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but no one's going to interfere because they don't want it with Russia. That's probably what he thought. Okay, he was wrong. He was wrong. And this is the hubris of the United States elites. This is the hubris. They think that they can just go ahead and sanction Russia, right? Give all these weapons to Ukraine, give them all this money, essentially just use them as proxy to for this war with Russia, and that they was just going to be, oh, everything was going to be sweet. But here's what I really think they wanted. I think that they wanted to provoke Putin to attack in a NATO country. That's what I think. That's what I think because I saw headlines of them saying that there was some little country, a NATO country, that Russia was eyeing or something like that. I forgot what the country was. But we all know Belarus is allied with Russia, so it's not Belarus. But uh, you know, I think we're trying to provoke Russia into attacking a NATO country so that we can go ahead and get into a war, right? Because guess what? If we help Ukraine, excuse me, if we help Ukraine, with Russia, right? If we help them fight off Russia, if we enter into a war, if we end up having to go into Ukraine and into these other countries that Russia might, you know, uh, get into a war with, then if we win or if we push Russia back, then guess what? We now we own Ukraine and we own these other countries. So uh, military installations in Ukraine and any other country that we go help, and that'll further our territory. And then you have access to the Black Sea, right? And then you have, uh, the wheat. I don't give a fuck about wheat, right? Like, why is that? You know, the number one importer of wheat. Okay, Russia, Ukraine. Wheat. First of all, let's understand. No one needs wheat. Okay, no one needs wheat in their daily diet. Wheat is not essential. Carbs, for that matter, are not essential. So who gives a fuck about wheat, right? But that's neither here nor there. No, fuck the wheat. It's not about the wheat, right? Yeah, they'll tell you that. They'll tell you all manure and wheat. Listen, we got plenty of cows to make manure with out here in the United States. We can make compost. It's not that fucking serious, okay? The only people that need that commercial grade fucking manure are these uh, big ass farms with their monocrops that are destroying the environment anyway. If you want to talk about what's destroying the environment, it's all these huge monocrops. That's what's destroying. That's what would be destroying the ecology in a certain area. Because in order for these vegans to have all these fruits and vegetables they want, they have to kill millions. You killing? Listen, vegans are responsible for killing millions of animals due to monocropping. Because you have to devastate the land. You gotta tear up the soil. Now you're destroying the habitat for millions of animals. You're killing squirrels. You're killing all kind of small animals. You're killing all these insects and bees. All these things with the pesticides and the GMO bullshit. Yeah, yeah. This huge demand on fruits and vegetables is what's really destroying. You know what I mean? Like somebody has to fill that demand. I'm just saying. So manure, fucking wheat. You don't fucking need that. Okay? You don't need manure and wheat. You can grow your own fucking garden and compost, and hey, that's what you can do. And if you don't want to grow the compost yourself, you can go to the local goddamn nursery and get bags and bags and bags of composted soil that's already mixed. All you got to do is till the ground and lay it on top, right? You don't, these things that they're telling you, you don't need it. No, 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 no. It's not about goddamn wheat. Um, from what I understand, and I might be wrong about this. I need to look into it further, so don't quote me on it. But I believe that somehow they found oil somewhere in Ukraine. Putin caught wind of it, and he wanted that shit. He wanted, okay. On top of the NATO countries pushing closer and closer to his territory. He don't want that either. But listen, we're going to, I guarantee you, all this money we're giving to Ukraine, it's not free, right? Yeah, they're stealing our money. They're taking our money and they're giving it to Ukraine for all kind of shit. But it's not free for Ukraine. It's not free. They're gonna have to pay up. Believe that to retrieve that. We're we already installed their president Zelensky. That's not enough. Now they want a lot more. Oh yeah, trust me. War is about gaining something, right? Right. For one side, it's about gaining something, and for the other side, it's about defending what you have. You're defending what you have that they want, and then for the other side, is you want something they have, so you're gonna go and try to take it. You know, so that's really what it's about. And if they can't get it through a show of force, then they're gonna feel like they can overpower you, and that they can just go take your shit. And so that's what they're gonna do. And they don't care about who has to die, who has to suffer because of it, because their children aren't gonna go. Their children are not gonna be involved. Their children are not gonna have to fight in this war. Oh, not at all. Not at all. Especially not for the invaders. No, their family is safe back at home. Their children are safe back at home. No, they ain't have to worry about shit. No, it's never going to be their children. It's always going to be your children. And Zelensky telling us that you know what he said. He said, "Yeah, your children are going to have to go out to die, and there's all this, that, and the third." Now he was talking about NATO, right? He was talking about Russia possibly attacking NATO, but we really know what he's talking about. He feels like it's inevitable that we're going to have to get a lot more involved than we already are. And I think he's right. I think he's right. It's going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of when. So, anyway, I just thought I'd come on and share that with y'all. I don't know if y'all want to go look that up yourself, but, you know, uh, he did say it. I saw the video. He said that they need to go ahead and attack Russia head on. So, and we already know they tried to place Putin under arrest for war crimes. Well, I mean, listen, how are they going to achieve that, right? So, Putin has a warrant for his arrest for war crimes. So, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see how they're going to go about arresting Putin. Good luck with that. Good luck with that without starting World War III. You know what I'm saying? That might be what kicks it off. Trying to arrest Putin. We'll see how that works. But anyway, much love, guys. Thank you for coming through. I'm gonna get off of this. My voice is getting tired a little bit, so uh, I'm still kind of fighting this head cold, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But really, what I think it is, I think my body is probably detoxing something a little bit. So, you know, and that's the thing about germ theory. It's still a theory. It could be environmental factors. It could be pollution. Sometimes your body wants to purge pollutions from its body. Your body wants to purge pollutions, and so therefore it'll appear like you're sick in order for that purge to happen. But and sometimes it could just be germs. Who knows? Anyway, much love, like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.